Hey y'all, welcome to my kitchen and welcome back to my channel. My name's Katrina and welcome to my kaleidoscope. I just want to do a brief introduction since I haven't done one yet. The reason I chose the word kaleidoscope is because it gives the thought to a myriad of things, and that's what this channel is all about. I love to cook, so you'll see a lot of cooking videos, but there will also be unboxing videos and reviews on items, and probably things about pets, because as you can see right there is a little dog sleeping. So I have two little dogs, so you'll see different things. But I am back right now with another cooking video. I did an unboxing for Misfits Market the other day, and there was some kale in the box, and I mentioned something about kale chips. And over on Facebook, I got a lot of requests for people asking for a recipe for kale chips. So that's what I'm gonna do today, because I said that I don't really like to eat kale, but I do love kale chips. So I'm gonna show you how I make them. First of all, you will want to preheat your oven to 275 degrees and have 2 baking sheets ready, which I forgot to do, but that's okay. I'll get them in a minute. So you'll need 2 bunches of curly kale, which I have here, and I've stripped most of it off the stem. I've left a couple, just in case some of you have never dealt with kale before. You see it has this kind of big stalk here. Just hold it and just run your hand up, and there's the kale, and you can toss the stem away. If you have chickens, feed it to your chickens, compost it, juice it if you're into juicing. So I just kind of pull the bottom pieces off and just hold it and pull it. And sometimes it will break off, but that's okay because it's usually the thinner part of the stem, which is more edible than the thick stalky part. But you can just pull it off of there. Okay. So to a mixing bowl, you will need 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. So I have some really good olive oil here. So we're gonna put 2 tablespoons in this bowl. It's 1. And 2. Then you'll need a half a teaspoon of garlic powder. If you don't like garlic, leave it out. However you like potato chips, that's kind of what the idea is here. You can make them spicy, you can do whatever, do onion or garlic, anything. But I'm gonna do a half a teaspoon of, this is granulated garlic powder. Put that in there. Then you're just gonna do salt and pepper, whatever you think looks good. Probably about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I have some pink Himalayan salt here. Just gonna toss it in there, and some black pepper. Now, so these are cheesy kale chips. That's what I like. If you're vegan, you can skip the cheese, or if you're lactose intolerant or whatever, you can skip the cheese totally. But if you like a cheese taste, you can use Nutritional Yeast flakes. It's really good. It's full of B vitamins, protein, fiber, and it has a nacho cheese taste, so kind of like a Dorito, and it's really good. I've done just this on the kale chips before, and it's good. But you can also use grated Parmesan. This is a cellulose-free kind, so it doesn't have sawdust fillers in it, but it's powdery, so I feel like it coats the chips better than like shredded Parmesan or something like that. So the recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of grated Parmesan or 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. I'm going to use some of each. if you can see that, but it's really yellowish and cheesy looking, and it tastes great. My oven is preheated. Sorry, had to grab a little spatula. I'm just gonna mix that up. So we have in there the oil and the garlic, salt and pepper, and the cheese. So I have pre-washed this kale and I let it sit on my counter on paper towels for a couple of hours. If you have a salad spinner, you'll want to put it in there and spin it because you want it to be very dry. Otherwise you'll end up with, instead of your chips crisping in the oven, the water will just steam and you'll have soggy chips. So, and you want them to be about this size, maybe bigger, that's fine, because they're gonna shrink as they cook. So we're just gonna put them in the bowl. And you might think, oh, that's not very much olive oil, but the deal with kale, like as you massage it, it starts to release moisture, and I don't know if it's its own oils that it releases, but something happens and the oil seems to go a long way. But if you feel like it's dry, feel free to add a little bit more. So I'm just tearing them. And the good thing about this, it's very little calories. I don't know how many calories are in a bunch of kale, but I wouldn't think it's very high. So probably the only real calories you get are from the olive oil and the cheese, because the seasonings won't have any either. So, but you can check that out yourself, or if I find the information, I'll leave it in the comment section. So technically you could probably eat like this whole bowl for what you could eat one serving of potato chips. So I have it all in there, and I'm just with my hands, just gonna start rubbing it all around. Kind of twisting it in the bowl to get that cheesiness off the bottom. And if you ever try the nutritional yeast, you will understand what I mean. It has a really nacho-y smell to it. It's just funny because it's so healthy, but it smells like that delicious artificial nacho cheese. I don't know if you can see it from there. I will try to come a little closer. But as I massage this, you can see it start to break down and get kind of wilty. So it really does start to absorb all the seasonings that we've put on there. So we'll keep doing that for a minute, and then I will spread it out on a baking sheet. And just because I'm gonna put a little bit more cheese on there, in the words of Tabitha Brown, because that's my business. I like cheese. But you make it how you want to make it. You can do it. My hands are greasy. I have a little hard time opening that. Alright, I think I have this all massaged really well and each little leaf coated. So I'm going to step over to the side and grab my baking sheet, and I will be right back. Okay, so off the camera, I went ahead and got one baking tray prepared, and now I'm going to do this one. And so what you want to do is just Kind of spread your kale out without it overlapping very much. A little bit would be okay, but you don't want them like sitting on top of each other because you don't want to trap whatever moisture is there in. You want it to be able to get crispy. So just kind of spread it out the best you can. There we go. And there's a little bit of seasoning left in the bottom of my bowl, so I'm just going to shake that out. Okay, so I'm going to put this in the oven, which is preheated to 275 degrees, and I'm going to bake it for 20 minutes. At about the 10-minute mark, I am going to take the baking sheets out and turn them around and put them back in for another 10 or so minutes until they are crispy. Even though this is the set time, you want to keep an eye on them, because if they start to turn dark or black looking, go ahead and pull them out and test them, because they can burn. So, but if you stick with this, it should be good. But I will come back when they are done and show you guys what they look like. Okay, I am back and I have the kale chips out of the oven. I've let them cool about 5 minutes and I dumped them onto one pan, so it takes up less room over here. But you can see how they shrink up, and because I had 2 pans full and now I just have this one. You can hear how crispy they are. So I am going to dump them into this bowl here. Hope not to make a mess. Okay, there we go. So now we have a large bowl of kale chips ready for snacking. So like I said, I put them in the oven for 20 minutes, and at the 10-minute mark, I took the pans out, flipped them around, rotated the pans, and put them back in for 10 minutes. So at the 20-minute mark, I checked them and they weren't quite crispy enough. I noticed, and I should have caught this when I was putting them on the pan, that some of the kale leaves were folded on top of each other. And I should have spread them out flat, because being folded, it kind of traps steam in there. So I put them back in for about 5 minutes, which was good. So for you, I would say 20 to 25 minutes. Check them at 20, and if they don't, you can check them with a spatula, and if they don't sound crispy, just put them back in. So we'll give this the sound test here. So it's all coated with cheese. It smells really good. That's a pretty good sounding chip. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope you try this recipe, and thanks so much for watching again. I know I just said that, but I get kind of nervous when I make these videos. But anyway, take care, God bless, have a great day, bye-bye.